I want to preface this video by saying sorry to all Liverpool fans. I have not done enough content on this team in a while, and quite frankly, they've been playing to their peak capacity recently and been absolutely phenomenal. And as they are currently probably the best team in the league, I think it's only right we speak about some of their individual players that aren't getting enough credit. And today we're going to be talking about Curtis Jones' involvement around this Liverpool team. Before we get into that, if you like my daily football content, please like and subscribe for more. And if you want me to talk about any other Liverpool players, just let me know down in the comments. Now, admittedly, Curtis Jones has actually been getting a lot more attention recently. There's been a lot more posts about him, and I think in the last few weeks people have started to really recognise his true talent. I think he's always been a really solid player for Liverpool, but I don't think he was given enough credit before. And I think with Liverpool's rebuild this year, I actually think he's one of the key cogs in making that work in the recent weeks. And I think Liverpool's performances individually have been so much better recently. Before they were getting results and sort of scoring long shots and getting a bit lucky, but now they are truly playing to a top standard team. Now, while Liverpool's midfield has taken some time to adapt to each other and is still working on different bits, you've seen Endo come into the side recently, and I think he showed that defensive ability, and he's been very good. Against Arsenal, he was personally amazing, I thought. And although Szoboszlai hasn't been on the best form, he is definitely much better for that Liverpool midfield. He adds some dynamite and some explosive into that midfield. He's very impactful, direct player. But not every player can be great by themselves. Even people individually brilliant like Mohamed Salah need help around him, and you're definitely getting that in midfield by Curtis Jones, who is definitely the facilitator of this team. He makes everyone around him so much better. And for Liverpool this season and a lot of last season, Curtis Jones is a very reliable source of the ball. He doesn't really lose it very often, and he does like passing the ball all around the pitch, progressing it as well as also passing it into safe areas. This is backed up by the fact he's making around 5 progressive passes per game, which is a bit of average for a midfielder, but he's getting 91% pass completion this season, which is a high amount, so he's definitely been very safe from the ball, but also trying to go forward as much as he can. This often has actually been a lot better for Liverpool because he's helping the balance in that midfield. He's been able to pick up the ball in different areas, from Endo winning the balls, given to Jones, he's running with it, and then passing it to Szoboszlai, who's usually creating the attack and threat. This is such a much better balance than McAllister that was starting to struggle before he got injured. His reliableness is insane for Liverpool because he really is very good and fluid around that midfield. He doesn't really have a set position despite him being starting on that left side. He often likes to roam around the whole of the midfield, and he's very good at picking up space. This makes him a constant problem for the other team. He's constantly losing players and constantly being open for the pass, and when he's reliable on the ball, he's not usually losing it. And this is proven by the fact he actually receives the most pass in that Liverpool team, showing he's open to get the ball at any time, and he's become a great option in that midfield. This also works for the fact he's very tactically adept for Liverpool. He's so good at being the awareness of his players. When Diaz wants to come inside, when one of the strikers wants to come inside and bring the ball in, he's very good at vacating that space to give them that area, while also having that space that they would usually be in and kind of occupying it, usually out wide, to keep that attack and the presence still there, not making sure there's any gap. Liverpool do play a very gung-ho style. They very much want to press teams in as much as they can, and obviously sometimes you can get broke easily trying to do this, but Curtis Jones is very good at picking up these areas, and you need a player with that sort of awareness in there. And Jones is actually one of the most important people to this press. He's so good at the counter press for Liverpool. As soon as they lose that ball, he is often the player in the right position to try and get it straight away to get the ball back. Usually if he's not close enough to the man, or they get a few touches in and can make a long ball out, then the press is gone and Liverpool have been broken. But Curtis Jones has been really good at getting to that player first, make sure they win the ball back quickly. This is backed up by that tremendous result against Newcastle. I think that was probably the best performance from any Premier League team this season. I think Curtis Jones is the reason why Liverpool nearly had a 7 XG, I think. In this game, he made every defensive action matter. He only was dribble past once, but he made 10 recoveries, 3 defensive actions, and won both of the tackles he tried. The 10 recoveries is key because this kept Newcastle penned in, especially in that first half, and Liverpool just kept peppering the goal. And on average this season, he's nearly got 3 tackles and 2 blocks, which for his position for a centre midfielder is actually a really good level, because you've got Endo in there who's supposed to do all the tackles and blocks. He's really good at getting out, and he's getting them tackles quite far up the pitch. And Jurgen Klopp has been speaking for about a year now about how good Curtis Jones is at this counter press, and he's the best one in the team at doing it, and when he plays, Liverpool make more tackles and keep the ball a lot more often. Someone like Gravenberch is brilliant to have in that team. He's very good at running with the ball, and he's very good off the ball bringing runners with him, but I do think that sometimes you need that sort of player just to keep the ball and make sure they do that neat and tidy things. And sometimes when you're at home especially, you might need that pressure rather than something a bit adventurous such as a Gravenberch in the team. But to profile him as just a safe player is completely wrong. He is also very adventurous sometimes. He does still make around 3 progressive carries per game, which is very impressive, and does do about 1.5 take-ons per 90. This seems to be a thing with his confidence. With the more he's playing, the more confidence he's getting. He's feeling more acceptable with running with the ball, and because of his usual positioning and awareness of trying to win the ball back, he's usually allowing the teams to tackle him because he knows that they'll win it back instantly. I do think like having someone like Endo next to him makes him better, because I think he doesn't feel the much pressure to do the tackles and interceptions as much as he would have. So he has that freedom to try and go out and try and create something when he knows Endo is probably going to be behind him being secure. He's also not got to worry about long passing. He usually can give the ball into Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai can even put it out to the wingers or try and cross it in or create something for the striker or attackers if Salah's in there. This just gives Curtis Jones the opportunity to do what he is great at: tackling, interceptions, movement, and running with the ball. And he doesn't need to worry about all the other parts of the game, as they've got the balance really well with this. And this is arguably not even getting to the best bit of his game at the moment, because Curtis Jones has been brilliant this season or recently with his progressive runs that he's been doing, and that he's been making Liverpool create a lot more, and he's receiving a lot of progressive passes. At the moment, he is sitting at nearly 6 progressive passes received per 90, which is a high amount, and this is leading him to have around 3 to 4 touches in the box, which for a centre midfielder is quite a lot per game. Of course, Liverpool aren't a high possession team, especially at Anfield, and they are one of the top teams in the league, so they've been keeping the ball a lot and obviously keeping these teams penned in. But Curtis Jones is a big reason of that anyway, so him having a lot of touch in the box is very good. And we've seen it a few times now where he's just made that run into the box late and made sure that he got around the defenders, and he's sort of an extra man in there, so some of the defenders don't really track and will catch up with him, and he usually is a free run. This led to this brilliant goal he scored against Newcastle, making that brilliant run, and obviously it ended up being a tap in because it's brilliant play, but it was great movement to even get in there in the first place and brilliant awareness. And this is also leading him to create a lot of chances. Per game, he's having 0.21 assists, and non-penalty goals per game is 0.21 as well, which is still a very high number. That means he's scoring once every 5 games or assisted, which is not really relevant to his position, but it still shows that he's doing a lot going forward and still helping them. Now, Curtis Jones has broke into this team fairly and been very good in the last few weeks. Some games he starts, some games he doesn't. Liverpool do change it up depending on the opponent, but usually you're going to expect him to play recently as his performance has been getting better and better. He does have a very high risk role, because if he simply isn't there for the quick trying to get the ball back early on high up the pitch, then simply it's going to be easy to get him behind. It did happen a few times in the Newcastle game, and Arsenal did it as well. But overall, I don't expect him to be there every time. He's doing as much as he can. And I did this video because obviously in the Newcastle game, he was insane. I think he was probably the best player on the pitch in my eyes, and I do think he's been getting better and better, but there's no chance about it. Liverpool's midfield is in elite level right now. Endo, Jones, and Szoboszlai, I genuinely think is probably the best 3. And obviously Gravenberch and Elliott still very good players, but these 3, I just love the mix that they have, and I love that balance that they have, which is a shame because unfortunately Endo is going to the Asia Cup, so you're not going to have him for probably a month, depending on how far Japan go, probably quite well. So Liverpool will have to find ways in that midfield to make it work again. Curtis Jones might get removed from the team, because if they don't have the defensive cover there, then you might as well put someone who plays a bit deeper maybe, but it depends what Liverpool really want. And there's been rumours today that Arsenal apparently want Curtis Jones. I just don't see why Liverpool would let Curtis Jones go, especially to a rival like Arsenal, considering he is from their academy. He's one of their better players right now, and yeah, he might not start every single game, but he's broken into the team multiple times the last few years, so I don't really know why he would want to leave as well, sort of thing, because at Arsenal he's not a guaranteed starter either, and he, doesn't have that same probably love for the club. But Curtis Jones is a criminally disrespected player in the league and deserves more respect, and hopefully I've given him more light to that, because he is really good, and I genuinely think he gives Liverpool that little edge to give them maybe a league title this year. With that being it, if you like this video, please like and subscribe for any more content around any other teams or any other players you want me to talk about. If you like football content, please go and watch my top 10 players of 2023, where I talk about another Liverpool underrated player that definitely is one of the best in the world. But thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one.